Brakataya Hawa, Brakataya Hawa Shai, Brakataya Hawa, Brakataya Hawa Shai, Kala Yahawa, Ba'ashem Hawa Shai, Ba'ashem Haraka Kodash. Double honors to our elders and our apostles of Great Millstone, and a salutes to the sincere elect out the area back at you with another lesson. Line backing off our elder Apostle Aramla, something that was stated. And yeah, the tides are turning. The tides are turning. Governor DeSantis, he's talking from Executive Office of the Governor. Right, this is a statement that he made. Right, from this article. All right, announces legislative proposal to stop woke activism and critical race theory in schools and corporations. Just wanna go over this a little bit of this here. Say today's governor's run. This was 2021, right? A couple of years ago. You know what I mean? And the family's tools to fight back against woke um, indoctrination. Right? So the question is, right? What is woke movement? What is this woke movement? Okay, we're gonna come back to this. You ask one question. What is wokeism? Is a term used to describe progressive left-wing political ideologies centered on social justice, identity politics, and systematic uh, in inequalities. Yeah, it exists. Definition very heavily depends on who is using it, ranging from a positive description, anti-discrimination, to a negative term for performative politics. I don't want to get too deep up into this, but brother Ielda made the statement. Yeah, this is what with the Governor Santos. He was pushing this, and we got the these are all cruel lords anyway. Right? Politics, they both push for the same. He was running um, Governor DeSanto, the mayor or the governor of Florida. I don't know if he still is, but he was pushing to be the president. And it's just Egypt going up against Egypt, and we're going to hear more about this because this is all in line with the scriptures and prophecy. So we're going to hear more infighting spilling out to outhouse, but it starts in house. So wokeism. We just looked at the word what it means, right? Basically, you know, they're controlling a particular narrative, but wokeism is us getting back to who we really know, our history, right? And it goes on. The woke act is a you're gonna have to fight this one, bro. You're gonna fight your way through it. And I know how to say it. It's so easy, but it's different when you're doing the video. Legislative proposal that will give business, employers, children, and families tools to fight back against woke indiscrimination because there's the children coming on bawling, and it is happening, right? You know they're saying it was over there, and I mean it's everywhere. They're coming on bawling because of so-called white guilt, and that's is that not Job? Job 20. The children shall seek to please the poor because of their guilt. Oh, take it, take it. We don't. What happened in Egypt when we was getting so-called woke, and we had our leader Moses, and when we eventually was freed from Egypt, they came and they was giving us everything. Take it. We don't want no more trouble. Take the gold. Take my collective, all my personal belongings. You know, they've been this mine, but you can have it. We don't want no more trouble. And this is the same kind of thing, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen in a similar way, very similar. But we're gonna take. Not only are we gonna take everything, Yahushua gonna delete them. We're gonna get them, and they're gonna have to work it off, right? Before be die 18, they're gonna have to work it all off in the cotton fields and wherever else they're placed to pay off their debt to Yahshua Allah. Right. So against woke indoctrination, Alright, so legislative purposes that will give business employers, children and families tools to fight back against woke indoctrination. To stop woke act will be the woke act will be the strongest legislation of its kind in the nation and will take on both cooperative wokeness they make up words and it's all just lies at the end of the day. They just fear that Yashua Allah as the same with Pharaoh. He says keep them down, oppress them. Pharaoh was saying that when we was in Egypt. Keep them down, oppress them, in case they join with our enemies, right, and come and overpower us. Right? As in so many words. That's what Pharaoh was afraid of. And it's the same today with these cruel lords. And they're all they're all of the same people. Right? Because they're Edomites and their seed goes back to the seed of Cain, right, which was a manslayer from the beginning, as it was described as a fugitive. So they're just fugitives, right? They really should be in striped clothing, walking around, striped clothing and in ball and chain, right? But we know that the Most High's let them out to fulfill His left-hand side purpose. Right, let's kind of read it. And it's the nation will take on both cooperative wokeness and critical race theory, and I just looked up these words. Today's proposal builds on actions Governor DeSantis has already taken to ban critical race theory and New Work Times, right? Date here, project in Florida schools. For more information about the Stop Woke Act, right? So it's a whole heap there. You want to read all of that, you my guess, but we're just hitting the point. So critical race theory. So I had to look up some of these words. I couldn't let them slide. What is critical race theory? An academic and legal framework stating that racism is not merely the product of individual prejudice. It suggests that systematic racism is embodied in legal systems, policies, and social structures. Yet, another word for that is what do they say? Systematic racism. Actually, I did check that as well. Scholars like Derek. So anyway, so you got. It's basically this. This is what it is. What is institutionalized racism? Because we grow up, for those of us that, if you've been in school, right, which all of us have, school or any kind of university, you was aware of it. You may have to turn a blind eye because you couldn't fight against the system. Some maybe did. Some had their own ways of dealing with it, but right, and you know what that could have been. There's many ways you could have dealt with it, but we at the end of the day, if you didn't have the truth, it wasn't the right way. But the spirit of the Lord, man's going is of the Lord, and we're dealing with it now, right? Wait thee upon me. That's the disclaimer until I rise up to the prey. But that's the point is that institutionalized racism, discrimination, or unequal treatment on the basis of memberships of a particular ethnic group, right? I said school, right? And they're trying to reverse it because their children now. That's why the title of the video from that I got from Elder Apostle Aramla is the tide is turning, and that's a little title, but it's massive. It's a massive tide. When the tide turn, that is, you heard the term, the worm has turned. That is massive, and we're going to hit the scriptures. Typically, one that is a minority or organized, arising from system structures and expectations that have become established within an institution or organization, right? You could say this whole damn planet is an institutionalized racism planet because the scripture, Job 9:24, right, lets you know that the devil have the planet, so they in control. So yeah, you can say the whole planet is took over by racism, no doubt about that. All right, we're gonna get back to as a matter of fact, we might show a video too. So another way I like to try and cover these particular words because I'm getting edified by learning up and looking up these words. We do it for the video, but we also we benefit as well. Right? And Lord willing, it's edifying to those who may be concerned. If you didn't know, now you know. Right? So the term institutionalized racism was defined in reports as collective failure of an organization to provide an appropriate and professional service to people because of their color, culture, or ethnic origin, right? And there's brothers that be getting into this on a more how you say scholarly, you might say scholarly level, or through the academic schools, right? And you know, a particular brother over there in Central, you know, and if you come up in a certain time and era, you would have you. I have to say, yes, I saw it in school. That's why I decided. I made my decision as a young man. Is the school worked for me, bro? Right, and that's what I'm going to say about that because it was heavy in the in schools. Some may choose to ignore it. Some chose to ignore it and just get their heads down. Some chose that it was too much, and they dealt. Once again, the spirit of the Lord, man's guidance of the Lord. So that's it right there. Institutionalized racism, right? But the Lord is our teacher, father, and once again, He gonna put everything. Isaiah 16 and 30, 39, or is it 29 and 16? Most are gonna turn everything right side up again. Right, so yeah, we catching up on a lot. We got a lot we catching up on, but this truth is the truth, and there is nothing more powerful than the truth. Yeah, what is systematic racism? So we had institutionalized racism and we had systematic racism. These are very much the same, right? So systematic racism refers to the ingrained social level policies, practices, and norms across the interconnected institutions. In connected institutions like housing, oh boy, have I got some stories to tell. Maybe not in this video though, right? But like housing, healthcare, and I know brothers got a whole heap of stories. We're gonna be talking. We're gonna have a nice in the kingdom. I'm just visualizing now in the spirit. In the kingdom, we're gonna be sitting around the fire. However, it's gonna play out, but that's what come to my mind. Sitting around the fire, going talking about all the things we saw, how we dealt with it, what we experienced. This is just one of them, like housing, healthcare, and criminal justice that routinely advantage one racial group, yep, while systematically others, disadvantaging others. It's so easy to do it when you're not doing a video, to use big words. We do it all the time, but for some reason when you're doing a video, yeah, but that's I don't know. There's a reason why the Most High has it the way He has it. It operates automatically through accepted structures, often independent of individuals' prejudice. Right? A lot of people claim ignorance, but the devil gonna claim ignorance, right? But he knows exactly what he's doing. The devil knows exactly what he's doing. Institutionalized is backed unto daily operations, writing, policies, and cultures, fabrics, and organizations. It functions on a connected machine, meaning in inequality in one area, educational fuel inequalities in others. I wanted to read all of this because this is really the point here. It functions as a connective machine, meaning inequalities in one area, educational fuel, inequalities in others. Right, this is one massive thing. And this devil now, he's getting a taste of it. Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, at once upon a time, he may still be, I don't know. But now they're his children are getting a taste of it. His literal children, but he's his collective children, his people, and he don't like it. So now they're all sensitive about it when the table and the tide has turned on them. Right? Does not require intent. It produces discrimination outcomes even without individuals consciously harboring racist views or intent to harm. Yeah. So you devils, right? You Edomite men and women. You claim, oh, you claim you don't have a silver spoon. You claim you don't have um, how you say, privilege, but you all do, and you all know you do, right? That's why you was able to do what you was doing on the cotton field to Jake. You white Edomite women and men, grabbing up a man things, you know what I mean? And then you like him, and you lure him away, you seduce him, and then when you're finished, you cry grip. You think we forgot? I ain't forgot it. I ain't forgot that. And you're gonna have to pay for that, right? Because everybody comes back in their lots. All you devil demons, and you're walking around today acting like, oh yeah, I'm so sweet and innocent. I will never harm a fly. I'm white, so I must be right then, right? I'm white and I'm right. That's your attitude. But we're gonna see you. We're gonna seek you out. We're gonna know who you are, and you're gonna pay for it. You ain't gonna get away scot free. That's why the governor is upset now. He's picking them, right? And they're gonna be the picking in. We're gonna be picking them for barbecue. They're picking them, right? We're gonna pick them for barbecue, hang them up to dry. Disclaimer, when your old shall return, hang them up for dry. What do you call that thing when you're hanging it out for dry? Dry clothing, all dry the clothes, them, hang them on the pegs to dry. What's the other one? Tar and feather. You're getting all of that, right? You're getting all of that, right? Before Obadiah 18, right? So it produces discriminatory outcomes, even without individual consciously harboring racist views or intent to harm. That's their cry. Their cry is they're gonna cry innocent. Oh, we didn't know there was they're talking about the so-called white man. We didn't know it was institutionalized racism, but you got the um, all the booty, all the all the belongings, all you've yielded all the wealth from your white privilege, right? You yielded all the wealth and all the belongings, every single thing was in your favor. Hence the term, systematic racism, right? It's all in your favor and against the so-called black man. Last one. Criminal justice, yeah. Some, boy. I don't want to, make this too long, but systematic racism manifests across a variety of social systems, creating massive disparities in opportunities and qualities of life, right? If anybody, former brothers, been through that injustice system, once again, we're going to be talking about this, and they're going to have to pay in the kingdom, and towards the end of this kingdom, when Yahweh shall return, they're going to have to pay for this, and it's going to be against them this time around, right? They ain't going to get no. They're going to get justice, and their justice is revelation, and I'm going to hit it. Their justice is Revelation 18 and 5 and 6. We're going to hit them scriptures, right? Reward unto them double, because it's talking about background check. We're going to get to that too, right? Criminal justice disproportionately higher rates of arrest, profiling, racial profiling, surveillance, and harsh sentencing for racial minorities compared to white populations. Well, all right, but yeah, that's okay. Because whatsoever man soweth, that he should also reap. He that rolleth a stone upon he himself, it shall fall upon him. He that rolleth a stone upon others, it shall fall upon him. And this is why we're talking about this right now, because it's that time. It's that time, and they're screaming about it, right? I'm talking about this subject, but there's other areas in which they're screaming about it too, right? So many. the so-called this is the tide. The tide is turned. Right, bearing in mind the title of this video. All right, so in criminal justice, economics, and housing, historical and ongoing redlining. Oh yeah, redlining. Yeah, that's another one. That's another one. All right, using so that a particular person can't get no kind of loans, right? Face you call it roadblocks as far as getting loans to get housing on the housing ladder, right? So redlining based lending practices, right? It's gonna say it, and real estate uh, proposals that hinder more marginalized groups from accumulating general wealth. Oh, it's giving us all of them. It's giving us all of them. I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna read down to the bottom. Economic and housing. Right. So we looked at institutionalized micro levels. All right. What does it say? Criminal justice, economic and housing. It covers everything. Healthcare now. All right. Unequal access to quality care based treatment proposal, and this is massive too, because we got brothers that are sick, but now for the moment we're getting into the herbs. We're woke, and they don't like the fact that we're woke to the things that they're doing to the women and the men, so-called the so-called black people. When they go in with a minor thing, they're waking up and then they're finding out that they've lost a particular part of their body, right? Because for those that know about the trafficking, and there's a whole heap of different type of trafficking, then that's another file that's going to come out. All the trafficking that's going on, and also the women, right? They're also removing their wombs because they're very our women are very fruitful, and the Edomite women are not. So they're they're requiring paying for wombs that don't belong to them. That's just a way of saying it, right? These teeth, them stealing things that don't belong to them. So that's all the different types of in unequal access to quality care based treatment protocols and higher exposure to environmental hazards. They call it incompetence, but really it's evil because it's deliberate. It's not even incompetence, it's deliberate. It's just downright evil. Plotting and planning. And they're talking about, oh, the men are more prone to getting all these types of C's, and they want you to come in so that they can violate you, right? We know that you perverts, that's what you like to do, men and women. Perverts like to violate. Jake, you got to get examined. Violating because it's all sick, perverted people in that healthcare, right? So brothers just have to be mindful of that. Right? I'm talking about perversion. You got the perversion, and then you got the sick. Right? That's also another one that's mentioned in Isaiah 19 and 14. There's a perverted spirit around these people in these places, right? And there's been how you say whistleblowers that came out and said the type of experiences that they've had, right? And the women too, right? The women, they be doing it too to the men, and the Jake men and women are on the receiving end of it. Oh, you gotta go and get, be careful with these damn sickos, sick people. Remember they're the base men. They're base men. Anyway, so base men with a suit and tie, and women, base men and women with suits and ties on. But I done a video that the Most High is lifting off the mask of these sickos. The name of that house was Beastie House. Where there was about 7 over there in Scotland, 7 Edomite men and women, um, collectively as a group, having this beastie house and getting luring children in there and just violating them disgustingly. And that's these are all the files that are coming out now that they're so ashamed of, right? So institutionalized racism, healthcare. I just looked at that one. Institutionalized racism often used interchangeable with systematic racism. It specially focuses on discriminatory, saying that you got to get your jab. Remember that 2020, 2019, you got to be jabbed up and focus. Because you're mostly prone to getting all these kinds of sicknesses, and you need to get jabbed up. High die. Whether that's true or not, maybe it is, but we know what we do know is these devils are massive liars. That we do know, because their people are sick in the head. They're sick, but they're also sick in the head. So, statistics, what they put out there, you got to do your own fact checking and do your own research about Jake is more prone to getting all these, so that they can just get them up in there and delete them. Even a brother that was in one of these places said he had a vision. Trust me, we know what going on anyway. I believe you, Akim. I believe you, brother elder. It was an elder that said it. It was in there for something to do with some kind of what was it? Could have been diabetes or high blood pressure. Something anyway. Forgive me, but something that he was in there and he had a vision that they were trying to delete him. I forgot the elder's name. R.E.R. something. But the elders went to visit him. And he had visions that they were trying to delete him. The nurses, we know anyway. We knew that. We done know that. We've seen that with our families, what our families have been through. Distant families and people that we speak with, that we know. Got a whole heap of testimonies on how goes on in that place. The graveyard, that's what I call it. You understand? So that's what they be doing, right? Trying to delete us. They're getting you in there. Once they got you in there, they want to try and keep you in there and delete you. Eventually delete you, because that's the Georgia Guidestones. Remember that? Is it 800,000, something like that? But that's the Georgia Guidestones, the color population. So this is another vice way of they wanting to them doing it through. Once again, the institutionalized racism through healthcare, economics and housing, criminal justice, right? Structure, it's actually embodied in the structure. It's not even embedded in the structure. It is the structure. So you have bricks and you have the mortar, the clay, the bricks and the clay. The racism, you would describe it as the bricks and the clay. Right? It's in the structure. It is the structure. It's the bricks and the clay and everything else involved that made it. Right? Structural racism, a broader term describing how public policies, cultural norms, and international practices interact across a whole society. Thank you. To maintain racial inequality. Thank you. The Wada Yahweh Shem Yeshai. For more details, analyze on how systematic racism operates globally. Explore the resources from Amnesty International, and they have it though. But that's it. Racism operates globally. Thank you. Back to the scripture, Job 9:24. It's global. It is the structure. It is the very foundation of the structure. Did we look up the word wokeism? What is wokeism? A term used to describe progressive left wing. Right. So they just want to, how you say, control the narrative of that. These devils. That's what they like to do. So this is that devil. Right. What is critical race theory? And that's what led us to getting into the institutionalized racism, the systematic racism. We looked at that. Now, getting back to a quick video on this devil. Right, this is the crew lord. They back for the same team. Don't matter what way you cut it or slice it. Right, and they're the same people.
We fight the woke in the legislature. We fight the woke in the schools. We fight the woke in the corporations. We will never, ever surrender. Florida is where woke.
That's that devil, yeah? He's talking about he's fighting that wokeism shit. Right? Controlling the narrative for us waking up. Now you're getting a taste of it. You don't like it.
He's a strong leader. He doesn't waver.
See? They're all for it. They're all for it. All of
Make
it.
America great again. The problem with Ron DeSanctimonious is that he needs a personality transplant.
Bigoted, white
See,
supremacist.
that's what we was talking about, the in-house fighting, yeah? That's the cruel lords, the Egypt going up against Egypt.
Trump wannabe.
We are not going to use your tax dollars to teach our kids to hate this country.
You do not have to wear those masks. If you want to wear it, fine, but this is ridiculous.
Well, he did say one thing that was true right there. You know, wear them stupid masks. But this is what it was.
So the bill that we'll be signing here today provides substantive protections for both students and parents to ensure that the education they're receiving in Florida is consistent with the standards of the state of Florida. And those standards do not allow pernicious ideologies like critical race theory to be taught in our K through 12 schools. We are not going to use your tax dollars to teach our kids to hate this country or to hate each other. We believe that every
because now you're getting a taste of your own medicine. He that rolleth a boulder, he himself, it will fall upon him.
single student matters. Every single student counts. We are not going to categorize you based on your race. We are not going to tell some kindergartner
Yeah, we've been having it for all the time we've been here, right? Damn devils.
that they're an oppressor based on their race and what may have happened 100 or 200
Yeah, so if someone comes out and they bring out the book, or even better still, bring out the Bible and tell you going into slavery, they're woke. That's their definition of woke. They're just, how you say, using deceptive words, controlling the narrative, turning it around.
years ago, and we're not going to tell other kids that they're oppressed based on their race. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't succeed in
Yeah, you know who he's referring to, right? That's he's talking about the men that is on the highways and the byways, bringing out the scriptures now because the table, the tide, the table, the worm, the tide is turned. Kala Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yoshai, Ba'ashem,
Hey,
Rakah, Kodash. Now let me hit the scriptures, right? Once again, land backing off Elder Apostle Aram now. Zechariah, let's get the dust off this. Zechariah 1:15 says, yeah, I am very sore displeased with the heathen. Right, you see that? Most are displeased at you. And even now you're still digging in the hills, unrepentant, as the scriptures tell us that you would. Right? Displeased with the heathen that are at ease. Yeah, you're at ease. Up to this day, pushing your institutionalized racism around the world. Right? For with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased. Yeah, it was a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. Yeah, all the things, you know, your history, right, that you're ashamed of. You're trying to bed it or carpet, put it under the carpet, that you call woke, that is in the libraries. Yeah, and you got actual systems out there. And there's even certain teachers, you know, I believe there could be Jakes that look like white people, right? In libraries, you banish them from working in libraries because they're selling so-called books with truth in them, right? Just suspended them, warned them, you know, trying to turn over their business, right? Because children are becoming more wokes, as you put it, woke. The other way of putting it is that they're woke to their history. They're waking up, and it's affecting the fabric of this racist, institutionalized, that is built on institutionalized racism. It's affecting the fabric of the system. And we're going to hit those scriptures too. Yeah, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. Well, you forward the affliction with the transatlantic, right? And the alligator bait, the Jim Crow, and all of those things. The book, without Santry, we got these books here. We read them books, right? And now you're even upset now because AI, your friend that you thought you said you're going to summon the demon, he's telling on ya. You're going to get rid of that too now, which I done a video on that. What's happening with AI? There's a lot of infighting now with the AI, because then now the AI is turning against you, right? the information, and your children are being seduced by the demon as well. So that's all. That's all the scriptures, right? So you forward the affliction on us, and then you're surprised. You're surprised you don't like it, right? When the trap you set, you put your foot in it. You don't like it. So let me hit this one. To back up the point. All right, so it's a little bit slow, but it's all right. My laptop is a bit slow, but yeah. So to back up what I just read, Zechariah, okay, Zechariah 2:8 says, "For thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory he hath sent me, and the nation which spoiled you, for he that toucheth, toucheth you, toucheth the apple of his eye." So now that's why you're hearing all these things coming. The table is turning. You touched the Lord's eye. You know, it was almost as if you touched. You know, how the eye is a sensitive thing, right? You'd be touching, you'd be poking. You know what I mean? You'd be poking the bear when you be putting us in slavery, putting us through all of what we've been through. The alligator bait, the young black children, selling them for rum and tobacco, right, from a young age, turning them out, right? We got the evidence on you. We got the matter of fact, we got the background check on you. We're bringing out the background check. As a matter of fact, let me come back to that. What is a background check? So what the scriptures I'm bringing out now, this is the background check on you, devils. That's what you're trying to hide. Talking about woke. You're worried about the background check. Right, so a background check is the process of verifying a person's personal, professional, and legal history. Yeah. What does your background look like, devil, Edomite? Right, and that includes Ron DeSantis, right, the governor of Florida, or former governor of Florida, and also Trump, Nero, 47. What does your history look like? What does your background look like? Right? You know what I mean? How many people have you, you know, when your whole show return, it's all going to be exposed. How many people have you well and truly deleted? Right? The Epstein files. How many people have you well and truly put your dirty, stinking hands on? Children and all of that. Right? You worry about other people's background. What about yours? Employers, landlords, right? So process of verifying a person's personal, professional, and legal history. Employers, landlords, and organizations use it to confirm a candidate's identity, ensure they have not lied on the application, and access their suitability or trustworthiness for a role. Types of background checks. The scope of background checks depends entirely on the industry. So yeah, but you know who's got the best one? See that criminal record, yeah, that's you. Yeah, your employment, yeah, credit, yeah, you got bad, all of that, right? Yeah, are you racist? Yeah, all of that, right? Can you be trusted? No, all of that. Damn devils, these damn devils. So we're looking at your background check now, right? You fall with the affliction, right? That's coming out. That's just come out on you, and you. When we get you, are we going to read you your rights? Get your hands up, and get your heads down and work. We're going to read you the rights every day by getting a boot up your ass. We're going to read you your rights. Right? Zechariah 2:8 again. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, after thy glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you, toucheth the apple of his eye. Hence, we're going to bring out the background check. We're bringing it out now. You touch the eyes, right, of your Hoshai, right, or your Hoa. You touched us, so you touched his eye. And it was it's like, oh my word, you don't really want to do that. You don't want to do that. Further the affliction. So we're gonna bring out some facts on these devils right now. Right? Woke movement. We're woke to our history right now. Revelation 18, and we're gonna read into this. 1 says, after these things, and I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. Yeah. Prophecy, and he cried mighty with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is falling, It has become a habitation of devils. Yeah, these are devils right now, and yeah, these people that are walking around now, right over here in the mother of Babylon, you know, a lot of them are possessed, and it's going to increase. They're possessed with demons, right, through all the different means. That's really their god. Satan, the devil, that's their god. That's who they bow down to. That's who they worship. That's who they serve. So it stands to reason that they are demons. They are demons, right? You can speak with them. You can have a conversation with them somewhat, but you don't really want to know what they're doing behind. Once again, all these foes that are coming out, they are, and it's ramping up. As we know, it's ramping up. All these foes that are coming out bear witness about your history, right? That's the Most High, right? Jehovah Shemeshai bringing out the background of you devils, right? Oh, there was that Clinton, Bill Clinton, and Hillary Clinton. Yeah, you want to try and keep burying them, but there's something that Isaiah 85. The earth is springing forth. The truth is springing out of the earth. You can't keep it down, man. You can't keep things from growing. You can't, because the earth is just the way it's just the law of the Most High, how it works. Whatsoever man sow, that he shall also reap. You can't stop the truth, right? And he cried mighty with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen and become an habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Yeah. That day going to come when there's going to be birds, literal birds, having a feeding frenzy on all your mighty men and all your so-called leaders, and the collateral damage that's going to be, and it's going to be a lot of wicked people getting yam up via the scavenger birds and other creatures too. They're going to be well fed in that day. This is the background check. The background check is coming out, and we also read in your history and your prophecy that's about to happen. For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. You see how they were cheering this devil on? I think he did run for president and he didn't get the seat. But this is how they rally behind these cruel lords. You see who's behind there? Rallying for their cruel lords. Right? They're all about that make America great again. Right? So that's what he's saying. If all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of the fornication of the kings under their spell, because they want to make so-called America gold and make it great again. In other words, get them Jakes, keep them away from the libraries. Right? A book was one of their biggest fears. A Jake with a book was one of their biggest fears. Now we're reading books. Right? And a lot of other things where the spirit is actually the spirit of the Lord, actually. Right? That's feeding us with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and the scriptures. And we are into everything. And there's nothing you can do about it. The spirit of the Lord is moving upon his people. Because you forwarded the affliction. You touched his eye. Now, it's that the worm has turned, the tide is turning. Yeah, for all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath for fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Yeah, they've made a lot of wealth out of us, right? We're the screw, the wheel that keeps this wicked place turning around, right? As far as our investment as a stock, we was a stock on the market. And you became rich and fat. That's why you want to try and hide that history, right? Fat from slavery and the spoils of slavery. You became fat from that. So you're trying to hide it, right? From that to be revealed. And also you're ashamed, right? As the scripture don't tell us, Obadiah said, for your violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. So yes, the shame is coming upon you and your children in the school. You're trying to remove all these history books. It's not even about the books anyway. It's the spirit of the Lord that's woken us. The point that the pineal gland is now awoke. The third eye is now awoke. And you think you can control that. That's the spirit of the Lord. Right? Here's the point. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. We're going to be delivered out of this place, rescued. And right now we got the truth, so it's how you say, we're in the light. We're no part of this world. We're in a part of this darkness. The world is dark and we're in the light. So we're not in this dark world. Most High lifted us up. The truth has set us free. 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh have remembered her iniquity. Yeah, it's reached up to heaven. The background check we're talking about right now. All right, it's come out on ya. It's come out. The background check has come out, and the Most High is revealing it now to even your enemies. And that's another thing you're afraid of. Even your enemies know what kind of people you are. As Pharaoh said, oppress them, the so-called black people, when we was in Egypt, oppress them as slaves and keep them down so that they don't join with our enemies and come back and overpower us. Same thing happening here today with all these so-called politicians and leaders, right? And politicians, leaders, and how you say, cruel lords, right? And that's their biggest fear. So reward her 7. Yeah, here it is. Here's the point. Reward her even as she rewarded you. That was the spirit. I said 7 because 7 is completeness. It's not 7 though. It's reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her. So it's double. Right? Unto her double according to her works in the cup which she hath fulfilled. Fill her cup she has filled to her double. Let me just meditate and reflect on that. Alright, there's nothing you can do. This is a background check. You're being exposed. Alright, so you can't hide behind the so-called shutting down the wokeness. You can't stop that. Alright, so you're going to get double of what you've done. Alright, you can't hide behind your history. Alright, the criminal record has come out. And most importantly, the Most High's got it. And you don't want to fight against the Most High. It's foolishness. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, yeah, off of the saints, right? The shedding of the blood. The scriptures say that if you shed blood, it should be paid back via blood. That's how you're gonna pay it back, according to the background check. and you got that even in your laws, hypocrites. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she hath saith in her heart, I sit a queen. Right, that's that dirty whore. Is that Revelation 17? Yeah. So the whore is being turned on by its own people, right? In its own senate, the beast shall hate the whore. Right, that's the EU and NATO. The beast shall hate the whore, which consists of around 32 nations, and NATO, EU about 28, and NATO about 32 nations, and EU about 28, or it could be the other way around. A matter of fact, let me just fact check that. And I've got that. Let me just fact check that right here. So yeah, but it's prophecy. Let the prophecies and the judgments roll down like water. Let them roll down like water. So we want Revelation 17, and I believe it could be 19. So we got the go to 17. 17. I'm gonna put the right information out here. Yep. So yeah, we got so NATO is 28 nations, and the EU is about 32 nations. But Lord willing, I could do a video on that just to be sure. I believe. Let's see one more. Check one thing here. Yeah, do a video on that just to be on the safe side. So yep, just for my personal edification. So where were we? Revelation 18 and 8 said, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, deletion, mourning, famine, and she shall be utterly turned with fire, for strong is the Lord thy power who judgeth her. Right, there you have it, Akim. It's a woke movement. You can't stop it. Right? It is a juggernaut. Juggernaut, and then you got Terminator. Can't be bargained. Terminators out there. Right? In the movie the Terminator, the original one. Can't be bargained with, can't be reasoned with, cannot be stopped, doesn't feel fair, and absolutely will not stop forever until you've been deleted. That's the Terminator. That's the truth, right? The Juggernaut and the Terminator combined in one. Revelation 18, jumping down to 20, says, rejoice over her through heaven and ye holy apostles, thou heaven and ye holy apostles and prophets, for thy power have avenged you on her. Our power is Yahweh B'Hashem Yehoshai. That's our power. Your power is on the left, Satan. Right? And Satan is getting weaker. Right? He's not turning up no more for you. He's not on time as he used to be. Right? The soothsayers, the witches and the warlocks, he's not on time as he used to be. So that's that is why you're so afraid. That is why you're growing weaker. You're worried, right? Reading the last one, 21. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it unto the sea, saying, thus with violence shall thy great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. The warrior Bashim Shah Kala Yahweh Bashim Shah Bashim Raka Kodash, and we're gonna be singing. Right, we're gonna wake up on our beds every morning, and we're getting closer to that now, singing, right, with a two-edged sword in our hands. And you ain't gonna start swinging until Yahushua come. Right, that's the disclaimer. When Yahushua return, the grand finale, the main event, gonna be on and popping. But yeah, it is the table that has turned. Yeah, and the tides are definitely turning. We're seeing it. It's becoming more and more evident. And when Yahushua return, this truth is the great millstone. He's going to put the finishing touches on with that mighty, great millstone. Enough said, not more to say, Akim. The Wadi Bashim Shai. So as we can see, they're worried about their so-called woke. There's nothing they can do against the truth, but only for the truth. Until the next one, we're out. The tide is turned.